So are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR, and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I must say, you guys made season 1 a hit, and it made me so happy to hear from so many of you guys via email, direct message on how you're going to PR yourself better, especially as we move into 2021. So thank you so much for all the kind words, and for all of you guys that are leaning in and putting in the work. This podcast is for you. So for those of you who are looking for a little bit extra oomph for your businesses and for your brands, I have something for you. Be sure to always visit pryourselfwithleahfrazier.com. Make sure you're signed up for our email list where I send out episode recaps. I'm going to send out when I'm doing webinars, when I'm going to be live. I'm going to send out when we're offering our next live course. So be sure to sign up for that email list, pryourselfwithleahfrazier.com, and never miss an update. That way you can PR yourself better and just do bigger and better things as we move into 2021. Also, exciting news. My book, PR Yourself, will be coming in 2021. So be sure to go to pryourselfbook.com and sign up again for that email list. You're not going to want to miss when pre-sales drop. You're going to want to be the first to get this book in your hand. And I'm not kidding you guys. I was on the phone yesterday with an organization that's going to have me do a workshop in June, and they have already pre-ordered 50 copies. The manuscript is not even turned in yet, and they have pre-ordered their 50, and you're going to want to get yours too. So pryourselfbook.com. And lastly, if you're like, Leah, you know what? I need that hands-on training with you every single month, whether it's marketing, whether it's PR. Hey guys, I have something super affordable for you. You're going to want to go to think3media.com/think3edu, and you're going to sign up for our subscription service. It's only $49 a month, you guys. And what you get is one live, you heard it right, one live session with me on a marketing or hot PR topic of the month. And then you're also going to get a mastermind session with other business and brands that are just like you, where maybe you're stuck on an issue. What we do when we mastermind together, we help you to get unstuck so that for those next 30 days before you go into the next month where we do another session, you can work on that item and take your business or your brand from one level to the next. That's what it's there for. So go to think3media.com/think3edu and sign up for our subscription service. That way you're always learning on how to market yourself better and how to PR yourself better as we move into 2021. And without further ado, enjoy this latest episode and stay tuned. And welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. And I'm so excited because I have literally the top editor that I bug 24/7 here in Dallas in the studio today, Miss Alex Edwards with Dallas Innovates. And she is, I want to point out, she is 100% a woman, because when I first was communicating with Alex, I thought I was writing a dude the whole time.
That happens all the time.
And then I met you.
Yeah, that's why I started putting Alexandra in my signature so people would know that it wasn't a man that they were communicating with. But hello, I'm so happy to be here. Should I introduce myself?
Well, I mean, she writes for Dallas Innovates, but tell us a little bit more about your function, because you're a senior editor now, yes. Right?
So I've been with D Magazine Partners for about 2 years. I started actually as an intern and just got hired right after that.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
I know, right? So I got hired by Dallas Innovates, which covers tech and innovation in North Texas, all about startups, boosting the entrepreneurial community, a lot of enterprise news, and I'm a senior editor now. So I do writing, editing, social media, managing interns now.
That's a lot, girl.
It's a lot of fun, though.
And a pandemic.
Yeah. Well, I miss, one of the things I miss most about my job is going to events, because that was 50% of the job was
and
networking.
You guys throw the bomb events. Mm-hmm. I miss that too. And Aren't there some awards coming up?
We have the Innovation Awards in end of January.
Which last year was at Tower Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys planning on doing this year? You don't know? Or?
I think the event staff is planning on doing virtual pending, but we will see.
And just shameless plug, we're here at the Slate, who has been killing it with their virtual events lately for nonprofit and organizations. So if you guys are looking,
yeah,
they stream virtual events. They're really fun, so y'all should check them out.
Yeah, I should tell the events team. I know nothing, and I'm in envy of everything they do, because I try to throw, like, pre-pandemic, a small party at my house, and I'm so lost. So I'm in awe of everything they do on the events team.
So back on the show today,
Oh,
I don't know,
God.
he just follows me around town. I don't know what it is. We have Jay Butter.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader. There we go. So we have him back today. We're going to talk a little bit about social media. Alex, you're phenomenal. I don't think people even realize, like, as an editor, you do social media for the publication.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like as an editor, that's not very common, but roles shift, and the pandemic has brought a lot of unexpected things at the publication, and I feel like that's happening with a lot of publications everywhere. But I've started doing a lot more social media, and as an editor, it's actually been really helpful because I know the material. I know what's in a story. I know what's most exciting about a story. So I feel like on social media, I'm the best one to share it because I'm so tied to it, and I know why people should read it. So I feel like sharing it on social media makes me that much closer to it.
And I've told people that too. I was like, there are certain publications that run their social media, so when they mention you and you don't share it, they know.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my clients, like, please share it, because I want Alex to know that we appreciate her running this article or all the hard work that y'all do.
And I'm just as tied to it. I feel like in journalism, a lot of people don't realize that. They just think they're one of many stories that are getting published. But I don't know if I would call it a problem, but I have kind of a problem where I get tied to everything I do and personally invested. And maybe I spend more time than is needed, but that's always, like, brings in with social media, I feel like, because I want people genuinely to read these stories.
So let's talk a little bit about, we'll talk about Dallas Innovates, but there's going to be people listening from all over. And I'm sure within their city or town or whatever, they have a Dallas Innovates or a tech pub or entrepreneurial based outlet. Let's talk about good and bad pitches. This is like my favorite thing to do with you guys. Just because it's fun. Okay.
Do you want me to start with the good or the bad?
Let's start with the bad.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Honestly, first things first, format. If I get an email and the font is wonky, and that sounds so menial and stupid, but if I see something and it's just so weirdly formatted, I automatically will not read it.
Are you saying more so it looked like they, and I'm anti, when I send out releases, I'm anti mass press release, unless it's like a red carpet alert. If it's a red carpet alert, I do a mass one because it's the same information.
Right.
But are you saying more so I can tell you copy and pasted from the prior editor and sent me the same exact thing and now it's formatted crazy?
I mean, honestly, I've had that happen. I've had someone.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm laughing.
Oh.
I've had someone send me the wrong publication. Like,
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I've left NBC in there when I was clearly pitching ABC.
It happens. And I do that too.
Exactly.
It gets lost in the shuffle. I will respond and I'm like, I don't even know what we're talking about, because it happens. It gets lost in the shuffle. But I would say first and foremost, I mean, mass emails do happen. I feel like you have to send mass emails sometimes for an event because the information is the same. But if you genuinely want your specific story to get published, you should know who you're pitching to. Like, I guess a good example right now with Christmas, I've been getting a lot of gift guide pitches.
Do y'all do gift guides?
No,
I
and
didn't think
a simple
so.
search on the site you would be able to see that we don't do
We
gift
do not.
guides.
Actually, that is a good idea. Like, y'all could do a startup entrepreneurial tech Dallas Innovates holiday gift guide
We just never have before.
for pay.
Yeah,
Only.
for pay.
See?
For pay.
Yeah.
But
a good move.
a good tip is, since we are under D Magazine, all you have to do is realize that a different publication within D Magazine would be better. So I've been
I pitch
shuffling
all
a lot
y'all.
of people to a different editor.
I just sent you one, and I was like, I sent it to Dallas Innovates, DCO, and D Magazine. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, if all three of you guys run a story, you all have different angles and different audiences. So
And we do all three run the same story sometimes. It just happens. And we all know that we have different readers and different people read our newsletters. It happens. But we're still, quote unquote, sister publications.
So what else, what other mistakes do people do when they're trying to get press and they're reaching out to an editor? So we talked about really bad formatting in emails. What else?
People will reach out to me on LinkedIn. I've had people find my phone number and text me. I've had people message me on my personal Instagram where I post pictures with my boyfriend and my friends,
Yeah.
like not the place. But I would say just keep it concise and have an angle, because people will reach out to me on these platforms and they'll say, hey, can you cover me? And I'm like, I don't know anything about you. I don't know what you do. I don't know what makes you newsworthy. Why should we cover you? Why would people want to read about you? It's a lot of the time it's people saying, hey, I have this company. And we're like, okay.
So are they doing it? So is there any particular format you want a press release? Like, what are the documents that you look for that will take it from, okay, I'm just kind of looking at this, to, okay, this really caught my attention?
Well, since we cover tech and innovation and our tagline is what's new and next, we always look for that. And innovation is so broad. It doesn't follow a strict definition. Innovation doesn't.
What about creatives? I always feel like there's this, like with art and fashion and beauty, and there's another publication that's similar to you guys that I swear I could send fashion and beauty stuff and they just don't get it, because everybody always associates technology with innovation, and I'm trying to change that in Dallas.
Well, we take a fast company type of approach with tech and like covering tech because it's so automatically innovation, but we do have our 6 buckets of innovation, and creative is one of those. So is innovation, and so is social impact. And also, this is also kind of personal. I feel like sometimes people get more attracted to stories that they like as an editor. So we have an all-woman team. So we all love fashion. I studied fashion. I like covering fashion, and fashion companies can be innovative. And I've done some of those stories where we have other female entrepreneurs or male entrepreneurs doing fashion.
By the way, yeah, she pointed at you like,
I'm like, you're fashionable.
might as well.
Perfect.
But it's still, like, I think anything can be innovative and anything can have a differentiating factor. If you want the writer or the editor to know about it, just know what makes you unique and cool.
He does a lot in the music industry. So how can music artists approach a Dallas Innovates that primarily is startup driven, entrepreneurial driven, but these are creatives that are maybe innovative with their sound or innovative with, I don't know, their approach. It's maybe not that everyday pitch that you get.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of those, and sometimes we'll work with someone to figure out what would be the best approach on our site specifically, or we'll say, hey, go pitch the arts and culture section at D Magazine.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes we'll collaborate. If I am really liking someone or really liking an entrepreneur, it might not be a fit at that moment in time, but we might talk in a few months when they have news. But I think the biggest mistake people make is just automatically thinking that they can get a feature just because they have a company. I mean, you have to be doing something in the moment. You have to be doing something that's going to benefit the world, or
I think oftentimes people are really attached to their baby. And so you can't tell them that their baby's not hot. You cannot tell them that their baby's not newsworthy, which sometimes I have to have that reality check when people come through the door. Like, when did this launch? 6 months ago? Okay, so we've got to figure something else out because you told the world about it and it's already out there. So in press and media land, you made the mistake of, I'm going to get on this horse. I hate when people take to social media and make their announcements without having a strategy or a plan.
Just putting it out there.
I mean, I'm sure you see that too, where they're working on something and people are like, and they're the main ones posting the meme talking about, I like to work in silence. And it's like, you're not working in silence.
You're not moving in silence.
Because you keep posting your every move.
It's
so we know
excited.
that this is out. So from a publicist perspective, if I'm trying to pitch an Alex and say that it's newsworthy, you've now cut off my access to getting you a feature because the world already knows about it because you've posted it on social media. Slow down, yo.
And it kind of bypasses your job because I'm like, I mean, I do need you, but I'm like, I don't need you. It's on the internet. I can go Google this. I don't need to work with you.
I don't know what the rush is nowadays. I think this whole clout thing with social media, people wanting to be Insta famous, TikTok famous, whatever,
reality TV,
supersedes any type of strategy or intentionality with their brands. And sometimes as a publicist, it makes it really hard. Like, I was working with a brand, you know of them, who had someone on their team that announced everything on their social media without talking to me first. And it was just the most annoying thing because it's like, no, I was actually going to approach the press and I was going to give Alex or Channel 8 or somebody the exclusive. It ain't exclusive anymore.
Yeah, and everyone already saw it, so why would they click on our article about it?
Exactly.
They already read it.
So I need y'all to have some sort of self-control. Like, get your like for the day from somewhere else.
Yeah. Just wait. I feel like people are so impatient these days. They need to film everything.
I can't deal with impatience in PR because sometimes it takes 30 or more days to build a campaign, to get everything together, to warm up the press to someone that's new. I don't care how many relationships I have. If I can't make it make sense, they can't either. And sometimes it takes 30 days or more of a thought process to get that going. And we just live in a world where people want instant gratification and want to be instant superstars and thinks that that's your job. And that's my job.
And sometimes it's hard because we do have what's called evergreen content. I don't know if readers would know what evergreen content is.
Tell them what evergreen is.
Yeah, it just, you know.
It's forever green.
We just say that, I mean, an easy way of putting it is that it can be published at any time. It's a simple description. But if your story is evergreen, you might have a really cool company. And I know I was talking about earlier, we don't just do random stories about companies, but maybe we've never covered you before and you're new on the landscape and we're doing a feature on what you do. That's pretty evergreen. It doesn't necessarily need to be published tomorrow. It's not hard news, but they want it to be published tomorrow. And we have an editorial calendar. We're always planning and shifting depending on news. We have stuff planned months in advance.
Exactly. I had
weeks
someone
in
reach out
advance.
yesterday saying, I'm going to be in town to such and such date just in case you can secure whatever coverage. Well, first off, I said TV stations just got out of the elections and they're entering sweeps. So you can stay an extra week. I can't, and most of them book segments for 30 days out. So if I didn't talk to Channel 8 30 days ago or 30 days from the date that you're leaving, I can't probably get you on unless somebody cancels. That's number one. Number two, like, I just don't think people put that into consideration that they don't even know what an editorial calendar is.
Yeah, and especially print. Print is planned so far in advance, and we're pretty digital focused. We do 2 print issues a year. I was one during the summer. Yeah, Leah was one. Were you on the cover or on the inside?
You put Craig on the cover, but I'm not even going to go there.
Come on, Craig.
That was not my decision.
Craig Lewis on the cover. Shout out to Craig at Gig Wage.
There was a lot of different options of group photos.
Y'all just had me
I
in
didn't
the
have the
wrong group.
finals today. I didn't have the finals today.
Y'all had me in the wrong group, apparently.
I just do the writing and the editing.
Wrong group.
But Leah was still on our cover story.
Yes.
Of the top 50 innovators
Yeah.
in Dallas.
And I had it framed.
Remember that?
You should, as you
No,
should.
I did. I had it framed. I had Dallas Innovates. I never showed you.
No, you sent me a picture.
Oh, I sent you a picture.
Sent you a
Yes, I
picture.
had it framed. So
Yeah.
my next office, wherever that is, we'll have it on the wall. So
As you
Can't get that
should.
news out.
Wear
kick
it
it that
proudly.
I know.
Get that out.
Let me withhold that. I'll just post it
Withhold
on social
information.
media at the right appropriate time.
Yeah.
Thank you, PR.
There you go.
Jimmy's my publicist. Contact
Yes.
him.
You did post on social media when you were in the top 50, as you should, because
I
you looked
should've.
so good in those pictures.
Say that
pictures were
again.
dope.
Say
Yeah,
that
the
again.
braids.
Say
You had the
that
braids,
again.
didn't you?
Have my Beyonce
It looked
braids
so
in.
good.
So, Alex just gave you guys some amazing tips because 9 times out of 10, people don't even really understand the role of an editor. They don't understand how to get into digital publications. So I just did a segment on digital PR and the value of digital placements versus print. And so now, hopefully that helps. We'll have to have Alex back to give more because I'm sure she has probably tens of thousands of tips on shit y'all are doing wrong.
Digital lives online forever.
Forever. You can
Always there.
I mean, but you can measure it. There's data, there's stats versus, oh, our print magazine goes into this many households. But you can't guarantee that that household is going to open it up and read the article that you're in.
And people always want print because
It's
it
glamorous,
looks cooler.
darling.
Yeah, it looks cooler, honestly. And they'll be like, well, can we get in your print issue too?
Need to
I'm
pay
like,
for
y'all
it."
are greedy. Y'all are greedy.
My clients are like that too. And I'm just like, I just got you online. And they said that when you guys ran the story on Victoria, which was awesome, every time you emailed me and said, Leah, this was our top story of the week.
Yeah.
This is still trending. I was sending it over to her like, hey, you're hot news, girl.
I love telling people that. I think I'm probably, I don't know, I feel like I'm not a cookie cutter editor because I always form relationships with like you, and I have a lot of other friends that do PR. And if a story is doing really well, I want them to know. I mean, that's great for your client. It was our #1 story for a long time.
Yeah. Go Victoria. So shout out to
Yeah.
Victoria Thomas with Journey Fit, who just opened her 3rd location in the midst of a pandemic. And it's doing amazing.
The first female Black-owned gym in Richardson.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a great story. Check it out on Dallas Innovates. And it was
Yes.
trending for a while, which made Mama Leah very happy.
I loved the message. It was all about how women can be strong.
And she is strong.
I texted you. This is making
She
me want to
is
go to the gym.
Well, it's funny because I pitched another editor who's going to be on next week. And at first it was like, oh, I don't know. And then she went out and looked at all the information I sent her. And she says, oh, no, she's a star. Like, we cannot just put her in this section. I'm dedicating this to her in our January, February issue. And I was like, yes. So
She's a rock star.
It speaks for itself, you know. But we're going to take our last 5 minutes, maybe not even that. I typically do like PR hot news and I let our guest kind of play publicist for the day.
Okay.
And I don't know, Alex, that you would know much about this story.
See how
I
she
was
did.
going to talk about MO3.
Oh,
Should
man.
we, could we? What do you think, Jimmy?
It's hot news. Why
It's
not?
hot news. So, a local Dallas rapper was just killed on the highway on 35.
I did see that.
Yes, the other day. But from a PR perspective, there's a lot of moving pawns, I should say, on the board where they're doing a lot of talking on social media, where they're looked to be certain beef with other rappers within the area. What else do you want to add in before I tell you that you're the publicist for the ones that are talking too much on social media?
Man, again, don't hit send. You know, Herm Edwards came out with that with pro football players. You know, you're doing too much. You're not a publicist.
Right.
So, and then you're with that situation, I guess with Mo3, first of all, rest in peace. You know,
Yeah.
I know a lot of his family.
Definitely.
A lot of them are my friends. Shout out to Sugar Hill and McKinney. It's kind of originally where he's from. But it's something that, like, with this situation, there's a lot of news, because everybody knows everybody, right? It's kind of like being in high school all over again, or being in school where people are just going to say whatever, and that's cool. But judicially, I guess, if that's a word, it's not. You don't want to incriminate yourself if you especially have nothing to do with it. I've been in multiple situations where I had zero to do with it, and I had everything to do with it in the law's eye. So it's a situation where you don't really need help. You need to help yourself, and not do too much that is going to incriminate you a way that is in the public's eyes, but also just for yourself, to avoid those situations. He was killed in the middle of the highway, broad daylight, on 35. Usually it's traffic and a lot going on. So it was kind of eerie on the way here. Even took 35, and I could visualize, that entire scene for what it was. But it was something that I don't need to speak on it.
Well, I think my point of it is that he had obviously some tension with other rappers. Yeah. And instead of some of those, like if I had beef with you and I know that everybody on social media knew about our beef, and then you came up dead and I just so happened to be in the vicinity, I probably wouldn't be on social media talking about I'm going to pop bottles, and all of this underhanded lingo that referred to the fact that maybe I'm happy about it, or I could have possibly allegedly had something to do with it, or I didn't have anything to do with it, but I know who has something to do with it. I just think as a publicist, I would have said, or somebody in your immediate circle needs to tell you to turn your phone off. We do too much on social media nowadays where we publicize everything and then it just implicates you. Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts? You think people do too much on social?
Yeah, and I mean, I can't relate to that situation specifically, but rest in peace. I mean, so tragic. I read the story, was it 2 days ago or yesterday? But with putting your opinion out there, I mean, I feel like we've seen a lot of that with the election too. You don't need to comment on every single thing that's going on. And I was talking about this with a group a few days ago, but I love that they're doing the new thing on Twitter where you can tell if something is false or not true. Yeah. And just, I don't know if it's necessarily going to help the very strongly opinionated, but it's a caveat that take this with a grain of salt while you're reading. And I've had people come up to you at the election and say, have you heard this? And I'm like, no, I haven't, but I'm going to go fact check it because I'm a journalist.
Exactly. Can't just run with it.
And with things like that too, it can implicate you, and you sent that tweet for what?
Yeah, and well, it was a tweet sent to in the middle of it, and that circulated immediately, very, very fast, between so many different people. So don't, if you want to help yourself, just don't do that, you put yourself in a position that now the public's eyes are going to be on you for a reason. And then all of a sudden you don't say anything, it's going to be even worse. So you have to protect yourself in the beginning and then in the end.
For a tweet.
Yeah, for a tweet. Going live, just all of that. So
I think all in all, you guys can look up the situation. I went down the rabbit trail for many days. Didn't get much sleep because
it's still going.
It's still ongoing. The person is still putting up Instagram stories that are just like highly suspicious. So just know that, like, from a PR angle, sometimes social media is not your friend, and sometimes you just need to put the phone down, put the phone away. And so in this situation, when we're talking about something that has to do with the law, definitely stay off social media. But it's a drug.
It's addictive. It really is.
It's addictive. It's a drug. If y'all watch the social network. The social network.
I was just going to say that. I just watched it. It made my boyfriend delete all his social media immediately. And I was like, you're crazy.
It's still there.
And we got into the stupidest argument about it. And I'm like, this does not mean you should just delete it. It just means that you should use it wisely and use it intelligently.
Right. Your network.
Yeah, use it in a way that helps build your business and brand and not necessarily for clout, because all that stuff will come if you're doing stuff for the right reasons. And so in this situation, if I were the publicist, I would probably fire myself or just go straight to crisis management, because it's clear that this individual is going to do whatever they want to do. And whether that's hurtful or harmful to their brand, they're just going to do it anyway. So I would just be like, you're going to do that? I'm going to work on crisis management over here. Yeah. Work on your crisis management plan, which you're supposed to do ahead of time anyways. But anyways, so I mean, it's just a really sad situation. But
I do think everyone should watch that movie if they haven't, because it is really enlightening about the algorithm and social media. I mean, everyone has seen it.
And the psychology behind it, which there's a lot in this situation.
Like
right. And I was shopping for my dad for Christmas, the hardest person ever to shop for, dads. And so I try to get it out of the way early. And now my Facebook is full of dad content. And I'm like, I am
every algorithm
in my 20s and I am a female. Like, this is not what I want to see. This was just for this situation.
So now you got to go click on something else.
Yeah, exactly. So the algorithm is crazy and controlling. But I think with social media, it is like a drug. Just put your phone away. Put it down. And there's people on the social network talking about how they couldn't put Pinterest down. The creator of Pinterest couldn't put it down.
Not at all.
That's a personal problem. It's not Pinterest. Put it down. It's like
wrong.
It's hard to do.
It's like alcohol. Don't take a drink. But it's addictive.
It's a disease.
It's a disease. Yeah.
Psychologically, they say it's at the same level of power as taking a hit of cocaine. So a lot of people, and I think especially in this rapper situation, he just couldn't put the phone down. And so it'll be very interesting over the next couple of weeks to see what comes of this.
And I'm talking shit with my TikTok addiction.
But see, that's what I was going to say. We all have our addictions, especially with social media. But, whatever your addiction is, face it, handle it.
Definitely.
Well, I would like to thank our guests for coming in today.
You.
Alex, Jimmy was back. So Alex, how can they follow you if they want to reach out for more info on Dallas Innovates?
Yeah, you can follow Dallas Innovates. It's just Dallas Innovates on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, really big on LinkedIn, and Facebook. And then you guys can follow me, Alex Edwards. You can try to find me. I mean, my handle's different on everything. It's a really, really basic name. But if you search Alex Edwards Dallas, you can find me on anything. Awesome. If you just Google that, you can find all my platforms.
Yay. Yeah. And then Jimmy?
Yes, me. Just Instagram. I am not on any other platform right now. I am, but they're being, like you said, edited. You got to take care of that. But you can find me on Instagram at Butters, BUTTERZ _island. That's it.
All right. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more episodes. And until then,
thank you.